What's going on, guys? It's NYPrepper here, and in this video I want to talk to you guys about the two different ways to reload a revolver, and I wanted to discuss the pros and cons and tell you guys which one I prefer to use. So I'm going to be using this 500 Magnum as a for demonstration in this video. All right, so the two main ways to reload a revolver, you could stay with your dominant hand and reload it with your weak hand, or you can switch to your weak hand and reload with your strong hand. Okay, for me personally, I like to use my weak hand, and I like to keep control of the pistol in my dominant hand, all right, or my strong hand. All right, I'm right-handed, so my strong hand is my right hand, and so I'll show you the way that I do it. So typically, this is the first method, which is kind of more of a newer method, and that's, if you're shooting, let's say you run out, okay, last shot, what you do is you pop the cylinder open with your support hand. You pop it open, you keep your strong hand is on the grip, okay, it doesn't change grips. You tilt the gun like this, you come up with your weak hand and you push down on the cylinder, okay, just like so. And I've actually done videos of this before. I've done a video of me doing a dry reload with dry fire rounds. I did a reload in 5 seconds. Okay, doing it with this method. This is a much faster method. So what you do is let's say you're shooting. All right, last shot. You run out. Okay, what you do is you use your thumb here. Okay, you're on your strong hand that's gripping the grip. You push down on the cylinder release. Your hand is already supporting the pistol here, so you just pop the cylinder open. At this point, I still have control of the weapon in my strong hand. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tilt the gun up, and I'm just going to come around with my weak hand, and I'm going to push down on the cylinder. Okay, and this particular revolver, the 500 Smith & Wesson, has an extremely long cylinder. It's probably, I would say, 2.5 inches long. So it's actually the ejector rod is actually hitting my thumb here, if you see my thumb. Okay, so in this situation, if you have a 500 Magnum or a 460 Smith & Wesson Magnum, you're going to have to take your thumb here and move it to the other side so you can have clearance to get the ejector rod out and to eject everything, okay? If you have your thumb here, it's going to be in the way and it's going to hit your thumb. You're not going to get ejection. You see that? All right, so if you're using a 500 Magnum or a 460, you got to move your thumb to the side, push down, make sure all the shells are out. And then what you're going to do is you're going to lower the pistol down. Okay, you're going to lower the pistol down. You're going to take your speed loader, whether it's in your pocket or it could be in your pouch, a speed loader pouch. All right, you're going to come down. You're going to load it. Okay, I'm not going to actually load it because these are live rounds and I don't want any accidents here. But you're going to take your speed loader, or even if you have loose cartridges in your pocket, you're going to load them in. You're going to load the cylinder up. Okay, once you're done loading, you're going to close it with your weak hand. And then you're going to transition back to your support hand, and you're good to go. All right, so I'll do that for you guys one more time so you can see. Okay, so you're going to be shooting. All right, bang, bang, bang. You're going to release the cylinder so you have a two-handed grip. Okay, this is a two-handed grip. You can see I'm holding it with two hands. I got my support hand here. Bang, bang, bang. Release the cylinder. Okay, on this side. Release the cylinder. I slide my support hand from the grip. I slide it over, and all I'm doing is popping the cylinder open. Okay, once it's popped open, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come around here to the ejector rod, and I'm going to push down. And again, if you have a big pistol like mine, you got to move it out of the way. You're going to push down and eject everything. Okay, then you're going to put the pistol down, okay, in an angle like this, and you're going to use your trigger finger your trigger finger is going to move over here into this section here, and you're going to hold the cylinder, okay? When I'm holding, you see how my trigger finger is over here? All right, I'm holding the cylinder, so no matter what angle I'm at, okay, I could be on my side, I could hold this pistol upside down, it doesn't matter. The cylinder is going to pretty much stay open, okay? If I don't have my finger here, let's say I have my finger here and I'm not holding the cylinder open, watch what's going to happen. If I tilt it, it's going to open and close, okay? There's no control over the cylinder, you see that? So what you want to do is you want to take your trigger finger, put it here, okay, inside of the opening, and hold that cylinder so it doesn't close on you, okay? Then you're going to drop the pistol down, you're going to reach in, get your spare ammo, reload, and then you're going to take your support hand, close the cylinder, and then slide your hand back and you're ready to re-engage, okay? It's a much faster system than the old school system, which I'll show you right now. So the old school system, what it has you doing is it has you, let's say you're shooting, bang, 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 you run out of ammo. What you're going to do is you're going to pop the cylinder open just like you would with the other method. But what you're going to do is you're going to pop the cylinder open, okay? You're popping it open. But then you're going to switch the pistol into your weak hand, okay, just like so. And you're going to hold the cylinder and the pistol with your weak hand like this, okay? Then what you're going to do is you're going to come around with your strong hand and you're going to push down on the ejector rod, okay? Just like so. I'm holding the cylinder and I'm holding the pistol, all right? You see that? All right? And I'm going to push down on the ejector rod here, all right? And then once I push the ejector rod, I have to twist the pistol like this, and then I have to feed the bullets in, or the cartridges have to be fed into the cylinder like this, okay? And look at how much I have to twist in order to do that, all right? In order for me to be able to get the gun down so I can feed the ammo in, all right, I have to like really twist the revolver pretty, aggressively downwards, all right? As you see here, look at my forearm, how much twist is in my forearm, all right? I have to twist my whole body, and then I'm going to take my reloads, which could be, let's say, in my right pocket, and I'm going to feed them in over here like this. I'm going to close the cylinder. I'm going to take my hand and put it back on the grip, and then I'm going to go back and re-engage, okay? So I'll do that one more time. So, all right, bang, 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 release the cylinder, pop it open. I'm gripping the pistol and the cylinder at the same time. Then I release my strong hand releases the cylinder, or releases the grip. Then I come around and I push down, okay, and I eject the shells. Okay, then I twist the pistol, grab my ammo, throw it in. Then once I throw the ammo in, I grab the pistol by the grip. I release the cylinder, and I transition the grip back to my dominant hand, okay? And then I can re-engage, all right? The problem with that system is that you're switching from your strong hand to your weak hand, okay? And a lot of things can go wrong when you're doing that, okay? So if you're switching, you're in the heat of the moment, you could accidentally drop the pistol. Let's say you're switching over to your weak hand, for whatever reason. You could be nervous, you could have an adrenaline dump, and when you're transitioning away, this hand right here, your support hand, you may not have a good grip on it, okay? So when you're transitioning away, you may not have a good grip and the gun could slip out, okay? And then that's not good, all right? So that's one of the downfalls. Another downfall is that this part of the pistol is going to be extremely hot, okay? This is what's known as the forcing cone. Okay, this area right here, this is the forcing cone, okay? This is where the bullets have to pass through this area when they're launched out of the cylinder. They go through the forcing cone and out the barrel, all right? So the forcing cone here is going to be subject to extreme friction, extreme temperatures, and pressures. Okay, so this area of the pistol, all right, is going to be extremely hot. So if you grab this pistol and you transition to your weak hand, there's a chance that, you could touch this part of the pistol and burn your hand. Okay, here, you could burn your hand. Let's say you don't have a good grip on it or whatever. You accidentally touch that forcing cone, you're going to burn your hand. And just that momentary burn can cause you to want to drop the pistol out of your hand because it's hot. You can literally, instinctively, you're going to want to throw that pistol out of your hand because you're going to burn yourself, okay? So that's another downfall, all right? Another thing, too, is that you have to transition away from your strong hand and transition to your weak hand, which I mentioned. You could accidentally drop the pistol when you're transitioning. When you're switching your grip, let's say you do it too fast and you're rushing, you're nervous, and you don't have a good grip on the pistol with your weak hand, and you release with your strong hand too fast, you can drop the pistol can fall, okay? Also, if there's inclement weather, let's say it's raining or snowing outside and you don't have a good grip because, pistols are usually metal, revolvers are usually metal, and there's like this pistol here has a polished frame, so it doesn't really have a good, grip. So, you could quickly, let's say you transition to your weak hand and it could slip out of your hand, okay? So that's another thing. It's also, so that's the thing. It could slip out of your hand. You're transitioning away from your dominant hand. You could burn yourself, okay? And then finally, reloading it is a little bit awkward because, you're kind of twisted. You have to twist your hand. You have to twist down like this and then put your reload in here, okay? So you have to kind of twist your arm into an awkward position, okay? And that's not really good either because it's going to take you longer to fit the cartridges in. It's just not going to be as fast, okay, because you're on a weird angle here. So those are the three main drawbacks to this method, is that, when you're switching over to your weak hand, you could slip, it could fall out. You could burn yourself on the forcing cone. And then it's also a little more awkward. You have to twist, your body and twist your arm to get the cylinder oriented properly to put the cartridges in. All right. So those are the three main drawbacks of this method. It's also, I would argue, slower, especially for somebody who's not trained and not experienced. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen Jerry Michalak use this method, and Jerry Michalak is, he's been shooting his whole life. He's a professional shooter. That's all he does. He was a professional shooter since he was young. So, he uses this method, but he's got it down to a science, and he's done it so long, so you can't expect to duplicate what Jerry Michalak does. Another thing, too, is he is not shooting in a life or death situation. He's shooting in competition. So the stress level is not the same in a competition as it is in life or death. So he's not going to have that big, adrenaline dump. And, he's not really dealing with inclement weather. All right. Typically, competitions are in a nice sunny days because they have to shoot outdoors. They don't shoot in rain. They don't shoot in snow. Their hands are not really like sweaty or anything. Their hands are not dirty, okay? So that's, you can't really compare a competition shooter to you, and also the conditions in competition shooting are different, all right? So they can use different reloading methods than, in a real world self-defense scenario. So, So those are the three main drawbacks with this method. Now, the only advantage to this method that I can think of is that, first of all, you can eject with one finger, okay? Because your finger is naturally already over here. If you're gripping, you can either grip the cylinder if you want. You can grip the cylinder with your thumb like this, or you can just hold it like so, and then you can take your thumb here and you can push down with your thumb, so you don't have to come around and slap it with your other hand. But the thing is if you're using your thumb and you're shooting higher pressure cartridges, your thumb is not going to have enough power to eject the cases, especially if you have some very high pressure cases. There may be over expansion of the cases, and it's going to be really hard to get them out with your thumb. So that method may not work unless you're shooting low pressure rounds. Okay, so that's kind of the only advantage. Another advantage too is that it leaves your strong hand open. So if, let's say, for whatever reason, God forbid somebody's charging you, or if it's a wild animal, you can use your strong hand to strike, or you can draw a knife out and attack with a knife. So that's the only other advantage I can think of. For some people, it's just kind of a mental thing. Some people, they need to have their strong hand in order to reload quickly. Okay, if they use their non-dominant hand, they don't have the same level of fine motor skills and the same level of hand-eye coordination with their weak hand. So for those people, they feel more comfortable transitioning the pistol to their weak hand and then taking the reloads, let's say the speed loaders, or the your cartridges. Okay, they feel more comfortable using their strong hand to place them into the cylinder, because they feel, for whatever reason, they have better coordination, they have better dexterity in their strong hand, so they feel more comfortable doing it with their strong hand, loading it, and then closing it, and then transitioning back, to the dominant hand. All right. So, that's, if you're one of those people that you feel like you need to have your dominant hand do the reloading, then you should definitely use this method. This is the old school method. But in my opinion, the method that I prefer to use is the method that I showed you in the beginning. Is, you run out, bang, bang, bang. You open the cylinder with your support hand, okay, your weak hand. Your dominant hand never leaves the pistol, okay, which makes it a much faster reload. And then you take your trigger finger, you hold the cylinder open, you drop the pistol down, you grab your ammo, you load it. Actually, you eject it first, and then you load it, okay, and then you close it up, and then you're back into the fight. All right. But some of the downfalls with this method is that if you have bad dexterity, or you don't have good hand-eye coordination with your left hand, your weak hand, if you're right-handed and you're using your left hand to reload, you may fumble around a little bit more when you're trying to reload it. Okay, it may take you a little bit longer. For me, it's not really a problem, but for some people, for whatever reason, that's a problem. Another thing too is that, obviously, if you don't support the cylinder with your trigger finger, like I mentioned, the cylinder could start to rotate, or the cylinder could close, depending on what position you're in. The cylinder could rotate and shut on you. Let's say if you fall over, or in the heat of the moment, something happens and your hand jerks like this, you see the cylinder can shut on you, okay? So if you forget to take your trigger finger and hold it here, the cylinder, you don't have control over the cylinder. When you use this other method, you're literally holding the cylinder. So the cylinder is not going to open. It's not going to rotate. You have full control of the cylinder, okay? Some guys like that better, all right? Me personally, I don't care. I just take my trigger finger and I hold the cylinder open, and then I just crank the pistol. I hold the pistol down. I grab my speed loader from my pocket or my pouch, and then I load it, okay? Once it's loaded, I shut the cylinder, okay, and then I slide my hand back into the support position, all right? So, you know, that's my personal opinion. You know, you guys can tell me what you think. I like this method a lot better. The first method that I showed you, you know, it's, in my opinion, it's better to keep your hand, your dominant hand on the pistol, okay? Because it's just much faster. You don't have to worry about dropping the pistol or losing it. You know, like I said, if your finger touches that forcing cone and it's really hot, you know, you could drop the pistol instinctively. You know, and if you have an adrenaline rush or the weather is bad, you know, you may not have a good grip on this, or it's slippery. It could slip out of your hand when you're transitioning back, when you're transitioning from your strong to your weak hand, okay? Or some guys may, you know, they want to reload it really quickly, and what they do is they don't get a good grip with their weak hand before they release with their strong hand, okay? So that's not good either, all right? So you want to make sure you have a good solid, you know, grip here before you take your dominant hand off the grip, okay? You want to have a good strong grip on the pistol with your weak hand before you take your strong hand off, all right? But again, adrenaline, bad weather, you know, it could cause you to drop it. You know, the heat of the forcing cone. To me, those are risks that I would rather not entertain. I'd rather keep my strong hand on the pistol. Just like if you're reloading a semi-automatic, you keep the pistol in your strong hand, you drop the mag, you pull the mag out, you pop the new one in, okay? To me, it's the same exact thing, all right? It's also much faster, in my opinion, especially for somebody who's not a competition shooter like Jerry Michalak, all right? It's a much faster reload. There's less things going on. You know, here you gotta pop open the cylinder, you gotta transition away, you got to use your other hand. You know, it's a lot of stuff. You got to angle it down. You got to load it in. You got to close it. Then you got to transition back. It's a lot of steps, all right? Versus, you know, keeping your dominant hand on the pistol. It's a lot simpler, okay? And you don't have to do as many steps, all right? You literally just release the cylinder, pop it open, eject the cases, tilt it down, put new cartridges in, close it, and then come back, okay? It's a much simpler flow, all right? There's less steps. There's less things that can go wrong. You don't have to take your hand off the gun, all right? Your dominant hand is always on the pistol, which in my opinion is critical, all right? So I personally favor this method, you know, keeping my hand on keeping my dominant hand on the pistol. That's my preferred method, okay? Tell me what you guys think. Let me know what your method is. And, you know, I'm going to attach a video at the end of this one showing you guys how I reloaded a revolver in 5 seconds or less. And, you know, that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for watching. Take care. God bless. And don't forget the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and persevere.